Today, we hear real stories of people forced to move to survive, escaping rent hikes, job losses, and skyrocketing costs. Welcome to the real economy.
They just passed a bill where they can increase your rent, and we just got back from vacation, and that shit is already affecting us. They're already trying to raise our rent, and because of that, we had a whole dispute thing with our landlord this morning, and because of that, I'm already on plan B, C, D, all the way up to Z in my head, and I'm trying to find already another place as a backup in case we do have to move. Why is it that no place near us that can accommodate me and my child and my man is affordable? Nothing is affordable in this city at all. 2-3 bedroom apartments and the prices are $3,000-$4,000, even $5,000. That's fucking ridiculous. And I'm crying because I know everybody's gonna come at me talking about, oh, so just move, I can use that money to rent a house somewhere else. I understand that. My family's here, my friends are here, my community. I don't want to leave home, and it's so frustrating because so many of us go through this that we have to eventually leave our homes because we can't afford to be here anymore. And I'm fucking frustrated. My family is here, my best friends are here, and that's all I have. And the fact that we might have to leave and relocate another state hurts. Because we can't even afford to live home anymore. I'm just upset. And I just needed to vent because I know this is something so many other people go through. And I know I don't really talk about it on my page, but I relate to all of you, and it fucking sucks. And I know that my city is losing its people because of the rent, because of the price of living. This shit is ridiculous. I hate it.
This is why I feel like the cost of living has never been as bad as it is right now. Because it used to be when the cost of living was high, it was for the things that you need in life. Food, gas, shelter, etc. All those things cost a lot of money. Right now, all of those things still cost a lot of money. And also, I feel like it's just expensive to just be alive. I feel like my life as soon as I wake up is literally just me putting down a credit card. And it's just a tab. And life is a bartender. And it's just what are you going to have? And I'm just I'm okay. I don't really need anything today. And it's just oh, really? Well, if you're going to be here, you're going to need to spend money. And I'm just what do you mean here? I'm just in the world. And it's just yeah, you have to buy something now. It's even getting to the point where I feel like even my thoughts are getting expensive, I could just have the thought of my nose is a little stuffy. And then all of a sudden I open up my phone 10 minutes later and have 12 ads for oh, you have a pollen allergy and you got to buy these anti-pollen allergy pills or you're going to suffocate in your sleep. Sleep is the only place I still feel kind of safe. But even there, it's I could have sleep problems for one night and then I wake up feeling kind of groggy and all of a sudden I'm getting targeted ads for melatonin gummies. It's all of our necessities are still expensive, and then also just every increment of our life costs something.
I can literally spend $100 to eat for a week in Colombia, and I spent it one day here in America on one meal. I just left another expensive ass dinner brunch in America, spent $100 per person, which included one drink and one meal, okay? And I'm moving to Colombia in 2 weeks, and this is one of the main reasons why, guys, is because okay, spent $100 per person on a meal. $100 in Colombia can feed you easily for a week. 1 week. And I'm talking about good food like rice, beans, meat, fresh juice, all of that for a week. I spent that on one meal out of 3. I eat breakfast, I eat lunch, and I eat dinner. And I spent $100 on just one meal. I'm sorry. It's crazy. I'm sorry. And I feel like we're just used to it because we live in America and it's just normal, but it's not normal. Please normalize affordable eating. And granted, of course we could have eaten somewhere more affordable. Maybe it would have been $50 a person. But even $50 is too much. It's too much. I want to pay $10 a meal. That's not McDonald's. I want to pay $10 for some fresh food. Fresh food that doesn't include a lot of bullshit. Where in America can I get that? I can't get it anywhere here, which is why I am leaving.
The way the cost of living has gone up is fucking crazy. A 1-bedroom apartment is damn near $2,000 a month, which is crazy. Like, what? Food is steady going up. And it's just like, damn, what do y'all want me to do? Y'all want me to live on the street in a box and, eat out the garbage and drink my spit? Because at this point, that's what I'm finna fucking do. Because no, I'm not gonna pay for no $2,000 apartment and I'm barely in it, motherfucker, because I'm always at work trying to keep the motherfucker. So I don't know.
Would you ever consider relocating to a different city or state to lower your living expenses? Share your thoughts below. Research cost of living calculators online before moving. Housing, groceries, and healthcare vary wildly by location.
So we left the US about 3 weeks ago and are temporarily staying in Albania. And this is a question I've gotten a lot. Why did we leave the US? And it's a question that has a lot of answers. I think the best starting place is Uvalde. That was a time where after that happened, I cried for a week for those families. And I cried because I realized that we couldn't stay here forever. We were gonna have to figure something out because we couldn't raise our kids in this environment where we would be terrified to send them to school, that we could send them to school and never see them again. We could, our daughters would have to do shooter drills, and we didn't want that. We didn't want them to live that life. We didn't want them to know that fear. So we knew eventually we were gonna have to figure something out. Then Roe v. Wade happened, and that was another time where it was like, we really want to leave, but we just couldn't. We couldn't financially do anything about it either one of those times, even though we desperately wanted to. And so we did what we could. My husband applied for jobs within the company he was working with in California, and he got one. So we were able to move ourselves to California, and that felt like the next safest thing we could do because we had lived in Texas our entire lives. Then November happened. And like most women, I woke up it was about 3 or 4 a.m. and I just knew, even though I had all these big hopes, and I kept telling myself, no, we're gonna be fine, we're gonna be fine. I just knew. I didn't even really have to. I checked my phone anyway, but I didn't have to because I knew what had happened. And I also knew we were gonna have to leave. We are Hispanic. I'm a woman. My daughters are both women. They will be women. And we have to think about their futures. We have to think about our future. And what also plays into this as well is that my husband's parents died 14 months apart. His mom died at age 54, very suddenly, and his father died 14 months later at age 56. They did not get to retire or do any of the things they had planned, and that completely changed my husband and I's outlook. Like we would go on vacation every 3 years because it was all we could afford, and all of our money went to paying bills. And I had so much medical debt because I am sick. I have autoimmune diseases and things, and I have autism and ADHD, and just there were so many things that were keeping us down, as America does, as most of us know. They keep us in this cycle of debt and of owing that we can't leave. They make everything so expensive, so we can't leave because they need their little worker bees. We were stuck in that, like most of us are. And we were just tired. Especially after that happened, we can't keep doing this. We can't sustain this. This isn't the life we want. We want to live while we're alive. I don't know what life is going to look like for us at that age. Given that my husband's parents died at such a young age, and given that I'm sick with everything under the sun, we have to live now while we're here, while we're able-bodied. So there's multiple factors. We are terrified for what's happening in the US. We're terrified about the life that we were living, and we just felt like we couldn't live and die this way anymore. We had to do better, find better, somehow, some way for our kids, and that was the main driver, is our children. We had to figure it out. And as long as you're doing the best that you can, then you're doing right by your kids. So that's what we did.
So a lot of you have been asking me, what is it like to live in the US? So I'm going to do a series of videos where I talk about this because The US is not everything that they are telling you that it is. I'm just going to be straight up and honest from the beginning. It's not all what they're saying. So it's not all bad either, but I'll start with the cost of living because I feel like that's a really big topic. If you live in the United States, I don't actually care where you live. You're probably not going to be able to go buy lunch anywhere for less than $10, which is like 100 Rand. Like, you're just not going to be able to. When I was living in the United States, cost of living was literally so high. For example, you have a child. You need to send that child to daycare. Daycare that we were sending our son to, where he would actually learn the alphabet, like letters, numbers, that kind of thing, was about $1,300 a month. That's about 25,000 Rand a month. And I know you're thinking, oh, but you're probably getting paid so much more money. The average pay for someone living in the United States is, they say it's about $59,000 a year, which puts you at just under like $5,000 a month. I'm suspect of that number, very suspect of that number, because this is the thing. Also, when you live in the northern part of the United States or cities where it just costs more, you get paid more. So they're also like averaging those numbers in. So like if you live in New York or you live in California, you are going to get paid more money to live there, but it's also going to cost a lot more money to live there. So again, if you're looking at getting like an apartment in like Tampa, the rent was like $2,000. So you just took that $5,000, just under $5,000 that you had a month. Take $2,000 of that away because you need a place to live. And this is without paying for water, paying for electricity, anything. So you're now down to $3,000. Take another $1,300 of that and put it towards daycare because you have a child. And that's per child, not like couple, per child. So don't mess around and have children back to back, or that's going to be a problem. So now you're down to about $1,700 if you've only put one child in daycare. If you put two children into daycare, baby, you only have $200 left. And I already told you it's going to cost you about $10 a day just to get lunch. So you can't even buy lunch every day for the rest of the month if you put two children in daycare and you're making $5,000 a month. So let's say you...
So I moved from California to Florida last year. And in Florida, your car registration is due the month of your birthday. So I just got my car registration in the mail, expecting to cringe as I opened it. For backstory, in California, I was paying like $700 and something a year for my car registration. In Florida, my registration is $47.05 for 1 year for the same price of vehicle. I do have a different vehicle now, but it is the same price of vehicle that I had in California. So, love you, Southern California, but this is why we left.
If you had to move tomorrow, where would you go first? Some cities offer relocation grants or incentives for new residents. Always check city websites.
Hey everyone, I have a question. I want to know y'all's opinion. When you leave the house, does it automatically cost you $100, $200, $300, $400? Like if you leave your house, it costs so much money these days. Makes no sense. I went to Walmart, spent $359.26. I'm at the gas pumps now. Probably be another 40 or 50. So what's that, about 400? Then a lady called me. I've been looking for a storage, like a bench to go in front of my bed. And she said they got one in today if I wanted it. Went by there and spent another 100. So I should have just stayed home. It seems like if you leave the house these days, it costs. Like everything is $100, $200, $300. Do y'all feel the same way? Like the other day, my son's fixing to graduate. My daughter that's married and grown out the house, she had told my son, stay home long as you can. It costs to breathe. I believe it. Look, I'm loaded down, y'all. This is insane. So I want to know how y'all feel about it. Does it cost y'all like me when you leave the house?
I'm tired of living in the U.S. I'm leaving America to move to a country that I've never been to before. I don't know anybody who has been there. I just booked my one-way flight and I'm wondering where it is. I'll tell you. I'm moving to Albania. Now, I know you might be thinking, where the hell is Albania and why would you go there? And if you're black, you're probably thinking, do they even like black people? I don't know much about that last one. We're going to have to figure that out together, but we'll talk about the first two. Why Albania? So I chose Albania mainly because of the lower cost of living, easy visa process for Americans. One thing I want is a walkable city with a lower cost of living where I'm able to enjoy myself, go out, meet people, and still have a great base to travel from to other countries around Europe, Asia, and the Middle East. And Tirana gives me all of that. Apartments in Tirana go for around 450 euro to maybe 800 euro if you're looking for a really bougie apartment. US dollar in Albania goes very, very, very far. If you're looking for day in the life videos, cost breakdowns, I will be doing those. So those are the reasons why I am moving to Albania. If you're interested to see my journey, make sure to hit that follow button and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.
Bro, the cost of living is so stupid, it actually pisses me off to think about. Because ain't no way, bro. I'm at the store and a gallon of milk is like $3, $4, $5. What? There's no way I go get some gas and a gallon of gas is almost $4, $5? Huh? Hey, G, I'm blue right now, G, because all of this shit, bro, is so ridiculous just because, bro, the cost of living is all the way up here, but the wages that job pay is all the way down here. They make you have to work double, triple, quadruple just to live, bro. And I don't know if people really be thinking about it, G. We wake up every single day to pay to live. Like this shit wasn't free once upon a time. Who idea was this? You feel me? It ain't even that we have to pay to live. It's the amount. Like, bro, it's 1-bedroom cribs and apartments out here for $1,500. What? A $1,500 apartment, bro? And then the old heads be thinking that they had it easier than what we did. Fuck no. Y'all had way cheaper than we did.
I left America 6 months ago and my life is infinitely better. Let's talk about it. First things first, I've talked about this in other videos, but it cost me around $1,000 to leave the States, which is significantly less money than I ever anticipated. And I think it's a really important thing for everyone to be talking about, that it actually costs a lot less than you might think to leave the US. Since moving abroad, these are the things that have improved in my life. First and foremost, my physical health is infinitely better. Why? The food is better. The air quality is better. I'm happier. I'm less stressed out. Medicine and healthcare is way more affordable. Like, we're talking apples and oranges. People are nicer here because they are happier here. It is significantly easier to cultivate community in a place where people are trusting and loving and empathetic and kind. And I cannot stress this enough. My central nervous system is relaxed and calm for the first time in my life.
Transparency moment, y'all. So I normally don't record in these moments, but it's real. I'm having a real moment right now with this journey on moving abroad. And even though I got my bonnet on, I'm looking crazy and I'm crying. I'm crying tears of joy. Hold on, my eyes. Try not to cry too much because of my lashes. This journey, y'all, this has been one of the hardest journeys of my life, okay? I gave up everything. I sold everything to move abroad and start over as a single mother with 3 kids, moving out the country. I sold my house. I sold my everything, y'all. Like, I'm still in the transition right now. This is why this moment is so impactful, and I'm very emotional right now. That's why I'm crying, because it's official. I just picked up my kids' passports and it just got real. It got real. I haven't really told anybody what country that we're moving to yet, because I want to wait till I get to the destination and y'all will see when we get there. But this has been so hard. Like, a lot of it has been a lot of trauma that I've had to tap into, that I had to grow through, things that I had to release. I'm so grateful that I learned detachment years ago, because this is what detachment really is, being able to leave behind everything you knew as your norm. Like, I'm leaving my whole country. I'm leaving my norm. I'm leaving what was once my home, and I'm starting over from scratch. And yeah, it can be scary, but I really been keeping God first this whole time. And I really been focused. And although I have got negativity from, family, parents, things like that, I did not get the support that I expected to get, y'all. Like, I didn't get no support with this. People think I'm crazy. I've been being judged. None of the people, I'm gonna just say family, because I got a few people that I love, and I'm not gonna say all family. This doesn't go for all family, but it's been some particular people that I thought that would support me that didn't. And that's what made the journey hard, because instead of me getting the support, I've been being judged. And it wasn't easy leaving everything behind and people calling you crazy and saying that you're not gonna make it, and moving out the country doesn't mean you're gonna be successful. Like, I got a lot of negativity, and that shit is weird. And that's why I'm crying, because this hit different. We made it. The countdown is real. Wednesday, I'm gonna be getting on that plane, me and my children, and we never looking back.
Have you ever moved to escape high costs? What was your experience like? Share your story.
Wow, it's been a very heavy last couple weeks, right? I've been in America for the last 2 weeks, and I struggled so hard. I struggled so hard with making this video. I struggled so hard because usually I try to be a light to those that I'm around. I try to bring inspiration. I try to bring happy thoughts. But it is just so heavy in America right now. Like, it's so heavy. It's so heavy in America.
Reasons why I prefer to live in Southeast Asia over America.
Reason number one, there is no credit. If you find a place that you would like to stay in, you can sign a contract as long as you have the cash up front, and then you can get your keys and move in. Reason number two, you can eat a full meal for $1 to $3, and it actually tastes good. All the food is super fresh, super organic. $10 can get you really far. Reason number three, everything is seeded, and you can literally find fruit growing on the trees in your backyard. Reason number four, you can have some amazing views, whether you like the country life or the city life. It's something for everyone. Reason number five, it's super safe. You never have to worry about any mass shootings. You don't have to be looking over your shoulder. It's very family oriented, very diverse, and then there's just so much to do and see. If you are considering relocating to Asia, I created an ebook just for you. Click on the link in my bio.
If you're thinking about relocating in 2025, I'm going to say just do it. Just go. I literally told myself that in 2023 about 2024. And so, you know what? I'm moving. I'm changing scenery, changing my environment. I'm moving to Charlotte. Even if it's not Charlotte where you're relocating to, pick up and go. Your life is going to still be stagnant if you're still in an environment where you're not flourishing. You can't survive doing the same stuff over and over and still getting the same result. If you want more, go for more. I'm someone who doesn't want to stay in one place forever. I might live in Charlotte for a couple years, and who knows? Maybe I'll move to Seattle. Maybe I'll move to Arizona. Maybe I'll move to Texas. Maybe I'll move out of the fucking country and just leave the U.S. altogether. That's honestly been a thought on my mind lately, the way stuff is going. So, the point of this video is to say, if you want to go, go. Make a plan, go. I can show y'all the breakdown for my plan. I didn't really have like a major, let me save 6 months of rent, do this, that, and the third. No, I said I'm going to save this, do this, research this, do this, and I'm going to go. I said I'm going to figure it out and I'm going to go. Because maybe it's different. It's just me. I just have to worry about me. I don't have pets or children. But it's like, if you want to go, you can't live your life being scared to take risk, okay? It's just like how they say with investing. Scared money don't make money, okay? So if you want to relocate in 2025, go. And if you have any questions or tips, I'll always make a video about it.
I'm an American. I've lived abroad for 5 years now, and let me be the first to tell you that leaving America isn't necessarily going to save you from a Trump presidency. I noticed that my video about how to get a job abroad is getting a lot of traction after the election. I'd never want to discourage anyone from making that move if they really want to. It's the best thing I've ever done. I have no regrets about it. There are a few things that I think people should consider before taking such a huge leap. My first tip is to look up the laws and attitudes in the country you want to go to as it relates to the issues that you're worried about in the US. For example, in America, a lot of women are rightfully worried about the access to abortion. Here in Senegal, the only way a woman can legally get an abortion is if the pregnancy is threatening her life in some way. So it's not better here. And I would even say for the LGBTQ community, I know that there's a lot of worries about the queer and trans community as well. Homosexuality is entirely criminalized here. So I would just say, before thinking about moving to another country, what you might need right now is to maybe just move to another state. My second tip is particularly for Black people and people of color. Understand that racism and anti-Blackness are everywhere. You're not gonna escape racism by getting on a plane, even in Africa. I live in West Africa, and one of my favorite things about living here, to be clear, is that I go outside and I very rarely even consider that some kind of negative or strange experience happened because I'm a Black person. That said, I have had a number of experiences where I've noticed that foreigners, white people, were treated better than me because they are not Black, even by other Black people. This typically happens in pretty minor ways. So for example, maybe I'm at a restaurant and the Black wait staff will serve non-Black people or white people before they serve me. I remember one time in particular, me and one of my friends who was actually white were trying to go to a club downtown, and they said it was for Chinese people only and we couldn't enter. So, and this isn't Black Africa. I am in West Africa. If you're thinking about going to Europe and you think you're going to escape racism or anti-Blackness, God help you. That said, because racism and anti-Blackness are quite literally everywhere, I don't think that alone should be the reason that you don't move. I just think you should be realistic about what to expect when you go to another country. Third, I know a lot of people want to move because of inflation and the very unrealistic cost of living in the United States. It's true that other places are considered cheaper when you compare it to how much it would cost in US dollars. That said, because the cost of living is lower in these other countries, so are the salaries. This is why you cannot just eat up all of the content you see from creators in other parts of the world that are like, oh my gosh, like look at all these groceries I got for $10. They're probably getting paid off of social media or some other business that allows them to get paid in US dollars. So if you don't have that same setup, 9 times out of 10, you're going to be getting a much lower salary. For example, in Senegal, if I were to tell you how much my rent is or how much I spend on groceries, you might say, oh my gosh, that's so cheap. But Senegalese people are complaining left and right about the insane cost of living in this country. So you can't take any of that at face value, really. Lower cost of living aligns with lower salaries. The last thing I'm going to say isn't so much a tip as it is just something to keep in mind. Trump's presidency is going to affect how people around the world perceive you as an American, regardless of whether or not you personally voted for him. I was actually in Senegal around the time Trump was president and made his comment about shithole countries. The director at the research center I was at was very loud and angry. He came up to me, he was like, do you know what your president said about us today? And I was like, whoa. I don't know him. Like, what? That didn't matter to him. I was American and that was the president of the United States. So he brought those concerns to me and I was meant to defend them. Around the same time, I was applying for a tourist visa to Nigeria and it got rejected because they were rejecting a lot of American visas because of Trump's comments about Nigeria. Or at least that's what my friend's uncle who worked at the embassy told me when I got rejected. Anyway, I really don't think any of this should really keep you from moving. If leaving America is on your heart or moving to another country in general, I absolutely think you should do that. You're going to have a level of resilience and an ability to expect the unexpected to really build a life in another country. Don't just think because Trump is president, you can hop on a plane and get away from all of this. I think you should live your best life and move wherever you want to move, but just be mindful and be realistic.
Thanks for watching The Real Economy. If you're thinking about relocating, check the free resources link below. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more real stories.